Цели. Откройте, пожалуйста, Students Book на странице 108. Итак, цель сегодняшнего занятия – пополнить лексический запас, работать с текстом, приобрести навыки по вычленению самого основного в тексте, а также научиться писать небольшое эссе, где высказывается свое мнение. Okay, let's begin the first exercise. Look at the picture. Do you know what the different parts of a computer are and what they do? Итак, посмотрите на картинку. Знаете ли вы различные части компьютера и что они делают, за что они отвечают? Listen and read the text to find out. Прочтите текст, чтобы это выяснить.
What's in a computer? At the heart of the computer is the motherboard. It is the largest circuit board in a computer, and all the other smaller circuit boards are connected to it. On the motherboard there is a microchip called the Central Processing Unit, or CPU, which is basically the brain and command center of the computer. The CPU interprets software programs and sends commands to all the other parts of the computer. The BIOS, Basic Input-Output System, is special software usually stored on the motherboard. It wakes up the computer when you switch it on, checks that everything is working, and reminds it of what it needs to do. The motherboard also contains several cards, each of which has a different purpose. For example, the video card generates the graphics that you see on your screen, whereas the sound card controls the audio of the computer. The computer has two main types of memory, ROM and RAM. ROM holds information that is permanently burnt into the computer and you cannot change it. RAM, on the other hand, is like a short-term memory that you can access and change, but once you turn off the computer, it forgets everything. The inside parts of the computer communicate with the keyboard, the screen, the mouse, and other devices such as modems through ports.
Okay, let's continue. Let's watch the film and follow this text.
What's in a computer? We can't live without them, but how much do we know about them? Computers have totally changed the way we communicate, learn, and entertain ourselves. But do you know what's inside your computer at home? There are many different parts that all work together. Right now, we'll have a look at the most important ones. At the heart of the computer is the motherboard. It is the largest circuit board in a computer. All other smaller circuit boards are connected to it. On the motherboard there is a microchip called the Central Processing Unit, or CPU. This is basically the brain and command center of the computer. Can humans think without a brain? How would our muscles move? How would we react to what's happening around us? This is how important the CPU is for computers. So what does the CPU do? It works a bit like our brain. It interprets software programs, just like our brain interprets messages from the environment. Then it sends commands to all the other parts of the computer. Now we move on to the BIOS, Basic Input-Output System. This is a special software that works a bit like an alarm clock. It wakes up the computer when you switch it on. Then it checks that everything is working and reminds it of what it needs to do. Next, we have the motherboard. We've already said that the BIOS is like an alarm clock. If this is true, the motherboard is a bit like an organizer. It allows communication between many different parts of the computer. This is where the BIOS, basic input-output system, is usually stored too. The motherboard has also got several cards that have different functions. One example is the video card. It generates the graphics that you see on your screen. Another example is the sound card. This controls the audio of the computer. And do computers need to have memory? Actually, they have two main types of memory, ROM and RAM. ROM holds information that is permanently burnt into the computer. Whatever you do, you cannot change it. RAM is the opposite. You can change it, but once you turn off the computer, it forgets everything. So what needs to happen for a computer to work? What's inside it has to communicate with other devices that are on your desk too. The keyboard, the screen, the mouse, and the modem. This happens through ports. Ports are holes that allow different devices to connect with each other. How many different parts of a computer can you remember? What does each one do?
Okay, let's continue. Read the text again and answer the question. Прочтите еще раз текст, если есть необходимость, и ответьте на вопросы. What is the motherboard? The first question and answer. The second question and answer. The third question and answer. The fourth and the fifth. Let's continue. Итак, давайте сейчас перейдем к другой странице. Итак, следующее у нас раздел Writing. Read the model and list the viewpoints the writer gives to support their opinion. What reasons, examples do they use? What is the opposing viewpoint? Find examples of formal style. Итак, я показываю вам сразу ответы на вопросы. Чтобы вы могли свериться. And next, replace the topic sentences in the main body paragraph with other appropriate ones. Итак, как у нас строятся параграфы? First, secondly, however, on the other hand. Okay, and let's continue. Look at the linking verbs in bold, which adds more points. Introduced an opposing idea. Concludes. Introduces a supporting viewpoint. Replace them with all in all, also, on the other hand, first. Итак, у нас есть несколько соединяющих слов, которые служат по разным причинам. Например, если вы хотите добавить больше точек зрения или представить идею противоположную, заключение, или представить поддерживающую точку зрения, то есть аргументированную. Итак, давайте попробуем разобрать, что куда мы можем отнести. Итак, introduced supporting viewpoints. In the first place, and first. Okay, adds more points. Secondly, also introduced an opposing idea. However, and on the other hand, in conclusion, concludes, and all in all. Вот таким образом нужно было распределить данные выражения. Exercise 3. Writing. Read the rubric, then match the viewpoints below to the reasons examples. Итак, прочитайте рубрику, потом соедините точки зрения с A, C и их причины или примеры с 1 по 3. Young people today should get out more and stop using technology to replace real social relationship. Write an essay expressing your opinion. Итак, молодым людям сегодня следует немного более лучше получать и остановиться использовать технологии, заменяя их реальным общением, реальными отношениями. Напишите эссе, высказывая свою точку зрения, не менее 120, не более 180 слов. Итак, обратите внимание, как это можно построить. Viewpoints and reasons examples. Я вам сейчас подскажу, дам вам ответы по построению самого эссе. Итак, A. 3, B. 2, and C. 1. Итак, technology makes social communication easier. Send a text or email quickly, cheaply. Remote communication means people don't know how to behave in face-to-face situations. People aren't used to talking to a real person, so they can be shy, not know what to say. Typing and texting doesn't let you express yourself well enough. Short text messages and are abbreviated. These messages can be misunderstood, misread. Вот таким образом. Okay, the lesson is over. Thank you very much. Goodbye.